Alright, let's dive even deeper into the story of the queen who flipped ancient Egypt upside down. Hatshepsut wasn't just any ruler, she was the kind of person who walks into a room and instantly everyone knows she's in charge. Her whole life was basically destiny mixed with ambition, mixed with I'm gonna do this my way. And honestly, the way she changed history is kinda insane. So, let's back up a bit. Hatshepsut grew up in the royal palace, surrounded by priests, scribes, and the whole political machine of Egypt. She wasn't one of those silent princesses sitting in the background. She was trained for leadership from day one. She learned how to read hieroglyphics, something even many royal men didn't do. She studied religion, diplomacy, and warfare. She watched her father rule, watched how power worked, how people responded, and how the whole kingdom stayed together. Basically, she was preparing for the throne before she even knew she'd take it. When she became queen to Thutmose II, everyone expected her to do the typical queen duties. Be symbolic, be supportive, handle ceremonies, that kind of thing. But even then, she stood out. She was active in religious life, leading rituals herself, giving orders, making decisions. People respected her because she carried herself like a leader, not just a queen. Then her husband dies young, and the heir is a little boy. This is the moment that could have gone in 10 different directions. Egypt could have fallen into chaos, a power struggle, or even civil war. But Hatshepsut steps in and becomes regent, which basically means she's the temporary boss until the kid grows up. But let's be honest, from the moment she took charge, she wasn't temporary anything. She was running that empire like it was hers. And then, the big move. She declares herself Pharaoh. Now, imagine how bold you have to be to do that. Ancient Egypt had been around for thousands of years at this point, and in all that time, the pharaoh role was supposed to be male. It was tied to the gods, traditions, rituals, everything said this job is for a man. But Hatshepsut didn't care. She said, yeah, I hear your rules, but watch me break them. And when she took the throne, everything changed. And not in a chaotic way, in a ridiculously efficient, peaceful, successful way. Under her reign, Egypt reached one of its highest points of prosperity. Which is kinda hilarious when you think about how some people back then probably freaked out at the idea of a woman leading. Meanwhile, she's over here building temples, growing the economy, creating jobs, and basically making Egypt the ancient version of a 5-star empire. Her building projects alone were next level. She didn't just build things, she built masterpieces. Her architects were like the Elon Musks of ancient construction, except their stuff actually worked. The Temple of Deir el-Bahari wasn't just beautiful, it was revolutionary. Huge terraces, long ramps, carved columns, all blending right into the cliffs like the earth itself wanted her temple there. Even modern architects look at it and go, damn, they did that with no machines? And her statues? Bro, she had so many. Some show her as a woman, others show her with the beard and king's clothing, and some are in between because she understood symbolism better than anyone. She wanted people to see strength, leadership, and divine authority when they looked at her. And she nailed it. But what I love most about Hatshepsut is that she wasn't obsessed with war. She didn't need to prove herself by sending armies everywhere. Instead, she strengthened Egypt through trade and diplomacy. The Punt expedition is probably the most iconic example. Imagine an ancient queen organizing a full-on maritime expedition across the Red Sea, mapping routes, preparing ships, gathering supplies, and sending her officials on a journey people hadn't attempted in generations. And when they came back, they brought incense trees, actual living trees, along with perfumes, gold, exotic animals, and rare goods. This wasn't just shopping, this was economic brilliance. Her reign was calm, stable, and wealthy, and that's actually rare. Peaceful rulers don't usually get remembered because they don't have dramatic battles to brag about. But Hatshepsut proved that stability can be just as powerful, if not more. But of course, her story doesn't end there. After her death, someone tried to wipe her out of history. Statues smashed. Her name chipped off walls. Her images removed. It wasn't immediate, which means whoever did it waited until it was politically safe. Most historians think it was Thutmose III or people around him trying to restore the idea of a normal, male-only royal lineage. But honestly, the attempt failed. Because you can destroy statues, but you can't erase someone who literally changed your entire kingdom. Fast forward to modern times, and archaeologists start uncovering her temple, her inscriptions, her mummy, her statues. Suddenly, this forgotten queen is back, and now she's one of the most studied, admired, and iconic rulers in ancient history. Hatshepsut wasn't just a queen. She wasn't just a ruler. She was a visionary who saw a different path and had the courage to take it. She led with intelligence, strategy, and confidence and proved that leadership isn't about gender, it's about capability. She was bold, brilliant, and decades ahead of her time. So the next time someone talks about powerful historical figures, don't let them forget the woman who ruled like a king, built like an architect, traded like a diplomat, and left a legacy so strong that even thousands of years and an attempt to erase her couldn't destroy it. That's Hatshepsut, Egypt's unstoppable pharaoh. And if you want to hear more stories about ancient legends who changed the world in ways you'd never expect, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me who you want next, Cleopatra? Ramses? The lost city of Thutmose Heraclean? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.